The Obama campaign is back in big-time fundraising mode. Fresh off back-to-back international summits, the president hit fundraisers in Denver and in California's Silicon Valley. Check out where the money stands now. These are totals including the campaigns, political parties, and super PACs. Obama has a 2-to-1 cash advantage over Romney, but that was 10-to-1 less than 2 months ago. I'm joined now by Bill Burton, senior strategist and co-founder of Priorities USA Action and former deputy White House press secretary. Bill, good morning. Good to see you.
Hi, Chris. Good to see you.
All right, so if you look at the numbers, common sense would tell you the president and his supporters have seriously outspent the Romney forces recently, but the race is still very tight. Why?
The race is very tight. And, you know, one number that wasn't included there is that Crossroads actually had another $70 million on hand. So it's actually, there's a lot more parity to the money race than that graphic suggested.
Does that give you pause?
Oh, absolutely. This is going to be a very close election, and hundreds of millions of dollars from the right wing is going to be pouring into this race to defeat President Obama and to get their guy Mitt Romney elected, mostly because of what he would do for Wall Street and what he would do for the oil and energy industry. So they're going to spend a lot of money to see that happen.
Susan Page, I don't know if you were listening, but Susan Page from USA Today was just saying this is going to be a campaign unlike any we've seen, and certainly that's already happened. We did hear from the campaign today, the Obama campaign, that they were canceling ads that were supposed to run in Iowa and North Carolina, Virginia, Ohio through the rest of this month. Is there a money issue, or is that a strategic decision? Do you know?
I have no idea why the campaign is making their decisions, but I can tell you that there will be so much money in this race that you can bet there's going to be a lot of ads in all of those targeted states going all the way through to Election Day. And a lot of the focus is going to be on Bain Capital. A lot of the focus is going to be on Mitt Romney's record when he was in private industry and whether or not the decisions he made to lay people off makes him qualified to be president of the United States.
Well, let me ask you about Bain, Bill, because again, we were just talking about that at the beginning of the program, and we had showed yesterday, we can show it again, this ad that your group launched attacking Mitt Romney's record at Bain. Karl Rove and a lot of other Republicans say this strategy just won't work, that it makes the president seem anti-business. Is this a big gamble, taking on forces that, frankly, Bill Clinton and your candidate 4 years ago successfully brought into the fundraising fold?
Well, I think you're asking two different questions. On the first question, I'll take the second question first, which is whether or not this will impact fundraising. I think that a lot of folks on Wall Street looked at what the president did, and even though the economy has been growing, even though the jobs picture is much better than it was when he took office, they still don't like the fact that the president decided that we needed more regulations on Wall Street to make sure folks on Main Street weren't harmed by bad decisions that they were making. And so he passed Wall Street reform, which people on Wall Street don't necessarily like, but they need. The second question on whether or not this is a gamble to make this argument, you know, it's Mitt Romney who brought this up. His experience in private industry is the centerpiece of his argument for why he should be president of the United States. We think it's important that voters have a very clear sense of the decisions he made, driving companies into bankruptcy, many workers losing their not just their jobs, but also promised health care and retirement benefits, and whether or not those decisions are the sort of things that you want in a president of the United States. His job was about wealth creation, not job creation, and he was very good at making wealth for himself and for his partners, but he wasn't good at creating jobs. That was ancillary to anything that he was doing when he was at Bain.
Can there seem to be, though, Bill, a little bit of hypocrisy? And, you know, I'm sure you saw Nick Confessori's article in the New York Times today, and he talks about a big fundraiser that was held for the president, you know, investment executives arriving, even as the campaign and other groups are putting out attack ads on exactly what it is that they do. So on one hand, you're talking about the dangers, and on the other hand, taking $38,500 from each of them.
This race is about two guys, President Obama and Governor Romney, and the decisions they made and the vision that they have for this country. The president isn't running against an industry. He's not running against a group of people. He's running against Mitt Romney. And what we're trying to do is make sure that people have a crystal clear sense of who Mitt Romney is, what kind of decisions he made, and how it impacted middle-class Americans all over this country. And, you know, the truth is it had a very negative impact on people's lives. And we think it's important that Americans know that, because that is the kind of president he would be. He'd look out for folks at the top, and it would be at the expense of folks in the middle class.
And you talked about the fact that there will be no shortage of ads, which may be the understatement of the century, as we both know. And obviously you're trying to define Mitt Romney as well as your candidate, and vice versa. The Romney campaign just launched a new ad. I don't know if you've seen it yet. It's called Day One Part 2. Let me play a little clip for you, Bill.
Day one, President Romney announces deficit reductions, ending the Obama era of big government, helping secure our kids' futures. President Romney stands up to China on trade and demands they play by the rules. President Romney begins repealing job-killing regulations that are costing the economy billions.
Let me get that your reaction to the last part, because we've heard similar phraseology from a lot of Republicans. Job-killing regulations that are costing the economy billions.
I think it is tremendously overstated that the president came into office, and what he did was he actually eliminated a lot of regulations, but he did put in place some safety measures to make sure that industries were looking out for the interests of the people who lived around plants. He made sure that mercury levels were lower than they've ever been. He was trying to bring down the level of greenhouse gases, put in new fuel efficiency standards, things that make a difference in people's lives, not just their health, but also in their pocketbook, because the more fuel-efficient cars are, the more you're saving every time you go to the pump. But the thing that was most interesting to me about that ad was how he invokes China and how he's attacking the president on something that he himself, trends in the economy that he himself is profiting from by still getting money from Bain Capital. The truth is, when he was at Bain, and even after that, companies that they controlled ended up laying off hundreds of American workers, many of those jobs going right over to Asia. So I think it's interesting that he would lean into that pitch, and it's a little defensive if you know Mitt Romney's record, and there's going to be some attention on this, I think, in coming days.
Bill Burton, good to see you. Thank you.
Chris, thank you.